In this film, I'm going to have a look at some of the features of a modern Piko loco, especially when you convert it from analog to DCC. I've already sort of said how far Piko have come in terms of detail. Nice motor control. This is running on a 40-year-old Hammett and Morgan controller. It runs really sweetly. We've even got nice little features like the drives, little speedo drive I think coming off the main axle there. The fact that they're all straight and true when they run, and just the level of detail in them now. So I've taken the body off. The body comes off with two screws. Diagonally across the loco there's two towers that go up to the main body. This chassis block is really nice and heavy, so all the black is cast, but also all this grey engine room detail is a cast metal piece, so it gives the whole thing sturdy construction. Piko are also very neat and tidy about their installations inside locos. So the wires are neatly channeled and bound together. The circuit boards are very cleanly designed and all very neatly done. You can see the flywheel there coming up through the circuit board, and interior detail of the loco there. Even got a capacitor for some smoothing and power smoothing. You've got inside the body here parts of that are metal as well, again to give that weight, and it reveals some features that you wouldn't normally see on the analog loco. So it has got all the engine room lighting installed, but that's not activated on analog. You've got a couple of choices with analog. As it's supplied, it runs with two white lights in the front. If you swap over to this plug instead of the small blanking plug, then the top headlight operates. But in analog you are a little bit restricted. Things like cab lights are all disabled and the engine room lights are disabled. So what I'm doing next is removing the blanking plug and installing the Lenz silver PluX22 decoder. Very easily done. It lines up. There's one missing pin in the middle. There's only one way round it can go because it won't fit the other way round. So easy installation. And then I'll go on to showing how you program and set it up. So with the decoder in, we can see the running itself. Is very nice, but we will see that the functions are a bit weird. So if I turn all the relevant functions on, you'll see a number of things light up. So we've ended up with a single white light on the top with red at the back. You've got red and white on at the same time at the front, and then the cabin interior lights have all come up. So I've turned on functions 0, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 and 4 on the Lenz chip are normally reserved, 3 for shunting speed and 4 for direct drive. And direct drive turns off all the inertias, so you'll find that when you put number 4 on, you lose some of the inertial control. It becomes much more responsive to the throttle. So we're having to do some function mapping to sort out the errant lights. Now this is just a natural case. What's going to happen with locos that have a number of functions, no two locos are going to be arranged in the same way, and this particular loco has some features that are unique to Bavaria. So we'll sort that out with function mapping. There's no getting past it. Function mapping does need a bit of planning. Piko are really helpful in that in the main locomotive manual they tell you what is connected to which output. I'm constantly surprised by the number of manufacturers that can't even tell you this. So this little bit of information makes function mapping so much easier because it tells you which of the auxiliary outputs are connected to which light. In the Lenz manual you have the function mapping as part of the CV table there. So from CV33 to 47 deals with functions 0 to 12, and then there's another block of them later which I don't tend to bother with. You know, for most of these locos we can get away with mapping them to functions that are earlier in the table. No need to go higher than function 12 with what we've got fitted here. So what I can see here is this is output for the headlights, and that is mapped to function 0. So that one just changes across with direction. Function 1 and function 2 are the red lights at each end at the moment. Function 3 is the shunting speed, function 4 is the direct drive. Function 5 is currently turning on the engine room lights. 6 is turning on the top light at one end, and 7 is turning on the top light at the other end. Function 8 is cab light, and function 9 is the other cab light. Now we can arrange this in a number of different ways. So I've got two functions that can be directional, function 0 and function 1. The rest of the functions are just on or off, they're not affected by the loco's direction. What Lenz have tried to do here is keep the programming simple, and the table then allows you to allocate these functions. There are decoders that allow you to do directional functions on every function. You need to go out and buy the £150 locomotive programmer to do that. So Lenz have decided to keep it simple so that you can still do programming with a handset and you don't have to buy a computer and a programmer to do it. So on that front, it's a bonus. So using the Lenz manual, I've written down the function setup that I want to change. So CV33 to 47 are the first 8, and CV66 controls the 9th output. You can link two outputs or more. You can link 8 outputs together in one function if you wanted to. The functions you want to turn on, just add them together. So for example, the first one, CV33, is going forward F0, and what I've done is put the white lights on the front and the red lights on the back. So I've added 1 plus 4 equals 5, and for F0 rearwards I've done similar. I've put the white lights on the back and the red lights on the front. So 2 plus 8 equals 10. It does make more sense when you're doing it and working with the manual. What I'm going to do is do this programming on main. You can do it on the programming track. By doing it on main, I will actually see the responses as they happen. and the Lenz decoder has got railcom, so I can use the new Lenz system to see the values as well as I work on it. So the default there, value 1 for CV33, I want to put to 5. Write that. Just do the first couple on screen. I'll do the rest off. I'm going to rewrite that one to 10. You already see the red lights have come on the loco while I'm doing that. So now, as I change direction, I've got white, red, white, red. So I've mapped the twin pairs of lights. I'm going to go off and do the others now. So what I've done is greatly simplify the mapping on the loco. The directional red whites are on F0. F1 turns on the top lamp. So on the Bavarian railways that was sort of an extra warning lamp. Latterly the triple lamps got adopted on German railways, and you lost the double lamp, so this is quite early on in Deutsche Bundesbahn. F2 now, I've got the engine room lights there. F3 is the shunting speed, F4 is the turning off the inertia, F5 is cab light at the front, and F6 is cab light at the rear. And the other functions I've disabled, so you've now got full control over the hidden functions in the loco. So we just have a quick final look at it. You've got the functions all sorted out now. The Lenz provides beautiful motor control, and it's a fully DCC NMRA compliant decoder. 4-digit addressing, railcom, ABC supported, braking on DC supported, so all the features out there that you would necessarily want. And the Piko models are also beautifully engineered, just down to that slow running and very little mechanical noise. This is another Piko Expert range loco with similar features. It's the Austrian class 1118, former German E18. There's a few more options here, so that on analog running the engine room lights work. And you've got the head and tail lights. Again, absolutely superb mechanism. There are 2 body keys to remove the body. They come in the spare parts bag, and what they do is release little clips in the middle. So you need one per side to remove the body. So with the body off, you can see on this one all the electronics are in the chassis. There's nothing in the body this time. Just comes down to the layout of each loco. The chassis is another impressively heavy block, so all of this is cast metal. And in the instruction manuals there is an explanation. There's 3 little jumpers, 2 here, 1 there, that change lighting features within the loco, so you can move those around and change things. Again, you've got the PluX22, and I'll look at the final result on this one. I won't go into the full programming on this one, but you've got features that are actually already available on analog, like the engine room lights. So working with the loco manual and the Lenz manual, I have worked out a scheme to activate some of the functions and move them to different function numbers. And it's revealed there are a couple more functions that aren't accessible from the analog loco. So what I've done, I put the headlights on 0, so just white lights on change direction on 0. Red lights I've put on function 1, again they change with direction. Function 2, got the engine room lights. And I've also discovered the loco's fitted with cab lights, so 5 and 6 operate those. And there's a other function I've mapped to function 7, which dims the headlights. So you find all sorts of things hidden in there. Again, the running quality of the Lenz decoder is superb.